Okay, so now if you created a Google form and it's dumped student responses into a Google Sheet, like I have here, one of the powerful tools that's available for accessing, the data, pulling data out of this is something called Flubaroo. It's basically is a self-grading kind of a thing. So I can make a key from a quiz that I made in a Google form, which is right here. And to make that key, I just go and take the form myself, fill it out with the correct information, and I just name it key. It doesn't have to be named anything in particular. Um, when I open up this sheet to look at all the student responses, so in this case I had one where they sort information. And these are the responses that the kids put them in that certain order. I asked for an email address, for an hour, for their last name and their first name. It automatically puts the submission time stamp on there. In this view, when I'm looking at the sheet, if I go to add-ons and I go to get add-ons, if I do a search for Flubaroo, I'll see this helps you quickly grade and analyze online assignments and assessments. If you don't have it already installed, it's going to say install or get or something like that, or free. I already have it installed, so I'm getting the manage button. So you would click install that add-on or get that add-on. And what that would do is when you go back to the add-ons, you can see that I have a little Flubaroo here that tells me that Flubaroo is enabled for my Google Drive. So if I go to Flubaroo and I click grade assignment, can kind of show you what I have here. I've already graded it once, so I'm just going to tell it to go ahead and update it by grading it again. I'm going to give it access, grant it access to this. And then it's going to ask me some information about the question. So it knows that the first name and last name identify the student, but it doesn't know that the hour identifies the student. So I'm going to go ahead and say that that's just a student identifier, as is email. Then this IP address, I'm just going to say skip, and the submission ID, I'm going to say skip as well. I just want it to grade these 4 questions. Okay, I'm going to give it point values of 1 point each. Then I'll say continue. And then it's going to ask me which of these do I want to use as the key. And that's why I kind of name mine key so I can find it easily. And I'll click continue, and then it's going to start grading the assignment and open up a new, down here it would produce a new sheet of the grades. So I can see it's graded my document. It has all of the students listed, their email addresses, and how many points they got right out of 4. Okay. It also keeps track if a student submitted it twice with the same information, first name, last name, hour, and email address, those student identifiers, it would let me know that. And it would give me the breakdown of specifically how they got on each question. It also does some conditional formatting, like highlighting ones that were low scores on a specific question for you. It highlights students that didn't perform as well as others above a passing grade that's predetermined that you can kind of set in the settings for Flubaroo. And now I can just go through my gradebook and sort of transfer these over to my gradebook. One of the nice things about this is I can also go in and say that I want to, in the add-ons, email these grades out. So if the student provided an email address, I can say email these grades. It's going to say, well, which was the email question? You have to identify, well, the one I called email. I can say that I want to include the questions and what they got on each question. I can also include an answer key. You want to be a little careful about that because then that can get passed around if not everybody has finished it yet. And I can include a little message that says, here are your scores from me. So when I click continue, what's going to happen is each of the students that listed an email address is going to get a message that has what they got on each question and their total score. And I click continue. It's going to go through and shoot all those emails out in about 2 seconds. And then they can get some feedback from that. And that's kind of a nice way that you don't have to pass things back or print things out or talk about them individually to each one. They can get that feedback from there. So Flubaroo, kind of a nice tool if you have multiple choice or specific answers that you're looking for in these Google Sheets or the Google Forms. Doesn't work so well for um, short answer type stuff that could be spelled differently or different wording. Flubaroo does allow you to include conditional things like you can say that I want to grade this arrangement of numbers or this arrangement of numbers is acceptable, that kind of a thing. So you can get a little bit of wiggle room, but for the most part it's going to be for like a multiple choice type thing.